Hi guys, I'm James. Welcome back to my channel where I document what's occurring and what I'm up to here on my little allotment in Northamptonshire in the UK. The weather is finally better again. It's been raining a lot this past week, but it's actually quite nice and warm today. So I've come up to get a couple jobs done. Mainly I want to sort out the herb bed. The feverfew's got too big, it needs cutting back. And also the lemon balm needs cutting back a bit as well. And also the sage and the rosemary, which is blocking a bit of a pathway. So I want to sort out down there today. And then I've got a few herbs that need planting out as well. And then I've also got some seeds which need to go in. I've got some runner beans that need to go in. I've got Polestar runner beans. I usually do Scarlet Emperor, but I couldn't find any, so I've got Polestar runner beans that need to go in. And I want to build a pea pole, an A-frame pea pole frame for the almond peas. These almond peas, which I planted a few weeks ago, are not doing well. I don't know if it's because they're too hot in the polytunnel or if they've dried up too much. I'm not sure, but they don't look happy. I did plant a few more. They're not doing anything yet. I planted a few more yesterday because those ones are like, had it. Unless they pick back up. I planted a few more. They're not doing anything yet, but I think I'm going to plant some direct into the ground as well. I also need to plant some turnips and some Swedes direct into the ground. There's a whole load of things that needs to go out, but a bit at a time. So let's do one task first. Just been and grabbed a couple bags of soil. I've got a John Innes number 1 because I need to do more seed planting, and a John Innes number 3 for the rose, which needs to go in. So I'm going to plant the rose into the ground. I was torn between doing it in a pot or the ground. I think I'm going to do the ground because it gets quite big and it will stick out too much if it's in a pot. Because apparently John Innes number 3, well, it's got loads of nutrients and everything in it, which is what roses need. I'm not sure I'm going to plant it up today because I need to sort out the trellising that they're going to climb up because it's a climbing rose. But at least I've got everything I need for when I do that. First task I want to get done is cut back, whoa, big bee, is cut back this feverfew. So feverfew is like a big daisy, and it's really medicinal, so you can use it for like medicines and stuff. I use it for like tinctures and stuff, but it's gone a bit crazy, so I need to cut it back. So I'm going to cut it to half and then I can use the bits that I cut. Smells lovely as well. And then I've got all that to do stuff with. It smells lovely. I'm also going to, hello slug, you can move, sir. Also going to cut back some of these herbs. I think they're deaded. I think most of them were just annuals anyway. A couple of them say half-hardy annual. I mean half-hardy perennial, so whether or not they've died I don't know, but I'm just going to cut them back further and see what happens. Leave them in for a bit and just plant around them and see what occurs. For the compost, this one was pineapple sage, which says half-hardy, so I'm hoping it comes back because it smelled amazing. This one was lemon verbena. I've got a new lemon verbena anyway, so that's fine if that don't come back. I'm pretty sure that's just an annual anyway. And then this one was bergamot, or bergamo, however you say it. Which again, I think is just an annual. But we'll see. Looks a little bit neater at least anyway. And then I've got some more herbs to plant out, so let's do that. them in there for now. I'm going to make some sort of tincture with them, or you can dry them as well and then use the leaves in teas. You can also use it for potpourri, however you say it. Yeah, very nice. So that's my feverfew. Right, the other herbs. Let's get the other herbs in. They're not grown from seed, unfortunately, but they need to go in just from the garden centre. So I got this a while ago, cotton lavender. Lemon verbena needs to go in. Oh, that's another alpine strawberry. I did grow alpine strawberry from seed a few years ago. I don't know if they've died this winter. I think there's one trough left. So I've got some just in case anyway, put in another trough. And then I got a few herbs today. So I got chamomile, which is perennial. I need some more perennials, so it's not just empty all the time. Evening primrose, also perennial. And then cola herb. Not sure that's a perennial, but it smells like Coca-Cola. It's fab, so I need to get these in. The soil in the herb bed has gone down quite a bit, so I'm just going to top it up a little bit with some new soil. I'm going to mix a bit of, so it's seed planting soil, but it's quite sandy and thin, and these herbs, none of them really like too moist or too fertile soil. They're kind of like poor conditions, so that's why the sandy soil is going to be good for them. So a little bit of that just in this bucket. And then a little bit of silver grow, so it's got a little bit of food in it, a little bit of fertilising, and it's a nice texture. It's not too thick and mulchy either, silver grow, so mix them together. There we go. That should be enough. I don't want loads, it's just to add a little layer to plant into. Okay. Okay, right, let's do one here. Put a little bit of that in there. The new stuff in there, mix that a bit into the hole quick. Okay, right, so let's have a taller one back here. So let's have cotton lavender. He is trying to escape with his roots. It's about time he went in. And then put some of the new compost mix around it a bit, so it's got a little bit more level in there, and some fresh soil. There we go. Cotton lavender, put that in so I know what it is. Right, let's do one into here. Again, a little bit of the new stuff, mix that in a bit. Right, what shall we have there? Let's have another taller one so that I can have the low ones around the edge so I can get to them easier. So let's have lemon verbena in there, I think. And it was planted around there before, so I guess it likes it in this position anyway. Some of the new soil. And then let's have here something in here. What shall we have? Let's have evening primrose in there, I think, because the flowers get quite tall. Evening primrose in there. I've never grown evening primrose before, so we'll see how that gets on. You could grow all of these from seed, but I just didn't have the seed, didn't think to do them. And a lot of the time herbs are quite difficult to grow from seed. They're quite picky and fussy, so sometimes it's easier to just get them already grown a bit. Evening primrose. Oh, a little centipede. Hello. And then I've got the cola plant and the chamomile. So let's do one here. Chamomile in there, I think. Smells amazing. I love the smell of chamomile. I love a chamomile tea because your boy gets stressed over everything and nothing, and chamomile tea helps calm you down. I'm sure everyone already knows that, but if you don't, there you go. There we go, some chamomile. And that should spread hopefully, and it's a perennial. I wanted to get some more perennials in here because I keep planting annuals and then most of the time it's just empty. So at least with perennials, they're just going to keep coming back, hopefully, is the plan. And then my last one, I am covered in mud. Oof, oh no, oh well. And then my last one, let's have the cola plant in here. And the name is correct, it does smell like Coke. Coca-Cola. Don't know if that's an annual or a perennial. Not sure, but it says, oh, it repels insects, that's good. Antiseptic digestive aid, can be used in herbal teas. Sweet cola-like scent. That is correct. That is very much correct. Well, if this keeps insects away, it might be worth getting some seed next year and planting some, maybe in some pots around things I don't want getting eaten, which is everything. So, a bit of an experiment as well. And then put my label in. There we go. And then the rest of this soil, just going to like spread around a bit. There we go. Right, that's them in. Let's give them a water. So, got cotton lavender at the back, lemon verbena, cola plant, chamomile, and evening primrose. And then these couple, so bergamot and pineapple sage, and the old lemon verbena. Gonna leave them to see if they do anything. If not, that's alright, I've got some new ones in there. Just while I'm over here, I want to cut the flower heads off the sorrel so that it doesn't put all its energy into flowering. So apparently you just cut down to a leaf or a grow node. So I'm just cutting as low down as I can, basically. And there's a lot of snails there. Let me cut that leaf off. Get them out of the way. So the reason I'm cutting them back is so that they don't put all their energy into producing flowers and seeds. I want more leaves for salads. So I am cutting them back so that they just do more leaves instead. Give everything a quick trim back as well while I'm at it. This is calendula. Let's cut this dead bit back. This is oregano. Cut the dead bits back. putting it down a bit more compact so that it doesn't just take over, basically, because it will spread and it will keep growing taller and then just go really like woody. And I don't want it a big massive woody shrub. I want it nice and compact and fresh leaves. It's my harvest so far today. I've got a whole load of sage, a whole lot of rosemary and a whole lot of feverfew to use. So probably going to dry most of it. Probably show you how I do that as well at some point. Apologies. From this point on for a little bit, the audio wasn't too great. It was kind of windy. There was kids playing nearby, screaming and being loud. And I'm not entirely sure if I had the microphone on properly. But basically, I'm planting out my sweet peas. So I've got 5 pots of general mixed colour sweet peas. So I put 3 in one bed against the trellis, which I'm going to climb them up it. And then 2 in the asparagus bed to do the same thing. So the thought is, as you're walking up to the entrance of the allotment, you've got 2 trellises with lovely smelling, bright, colourful sweet peas. So I planted those in those 2 beds. And then I had 1 pot of some bright red ones, which I put into a pot so that I could move it wherever I want, wherever I want it on the allotment. And I've got it climbing up a bamboo cane wigwam. I have it at the moment next to the greenhouse, next to the shack. But in this clip, I put it next to the pond. It will go next to the pond, but it didn't really make sense because they weren't flowering yet, so you couldn't really see it. Now, before I forget, I'm going to get my lovage planted in. Just going to do it in this pot. So I've just got some standard all-purpose compost in here. Make up the roots a little bit. Yeah, it's a bit dry, that's for sure. Give it a good watering in a sec. There we go. Lovage is planted. Then I'm going to put him over near the other herbs, the herb area. And then that should be all my herbs sorted. For now, anyway. There we are. So what I've done is, I've done this before, but not here. So I'm going to experiment. So just tying them into little bundles, the herbs that I've harvested, not all of it because there's a lot. So the rest is going to go on the compost, but I'm going to tie some little bundles of the herbs with some string and then hang them in the shack and see how they get on. I'm going to do that with the rosemary and the sage. I think I'm going to take the feverfew home with me because it's like a softer leaf, so I might use my dehydrator for that and see how it gets on. I've never done this before in here. It probably won't work, but we'll see anyway. There's some old nails in here which I assume were used by the guy who had this before to dry herbs. It looks like that sort of thing, or maybe it was to hang equipment, but I'm not sure. But we're going to give it a go with the herbs and see. It may not work, but worth a go. Oh God, if I can even tie it. If I can even tie it, that is. Which I can't. There's the rosemary. Let's try it with the sage. It would be handy if it does work in here, because it takes quite a lot of room to dry herbs at home. It's a bit of a faff. When I've done this before, I've done little bundles like this and then hung it on the washing line, but obviously it has to be dry and sunny, which we don't get a lot. Whereas if it works in here and it's somewhat dry, I mean, it does leak. I'm hoping it doesn't leak where these are literally right there, but it would be good if it does work. So I've got some rosemary, got some sage. I might do a little bit of the feverfew and then take the rest home, and then the rest of the stuff can go on the compost. Let me grab some feverfew. I'm not sure if the feverfew will work like this because it's a bit more like softer leaves as opposed to the woodier, thicker, drier texture of the others, but we'll see. We will see. Sage, rosemary, feverfew. We'll see. See how they get on. Getting them out is another urgent job. Those peas, they need to go out. Probably do that tomorrow and get some more almond peas planted and a frame for them probably tomorrow. And I want to get the rose in as well. So much to do, so little time. That's it for today. I think got a few jobs done, got my herb bed sorted out, which is what I wanted to do anyway. So yeah, pretty happy with that. So yeah, thank you again for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. It's so pretty. It's rainy, but it's so pretty. Nice espalier fruit trees. What they got? What we got? Apple Lord Lambourne. Apple something. I would move leaves out the way to read the stuff, but I'm holding an umbrella. Apple Nouveau Golden Hills. Rubus Loch Ness. What's a rubus then? That's not an apple, is it? What's a rubus? So they're both Loch Ness. What's a rubus then? Wonder what they're growing. Big rhubarb. Strawberries. More rhubarb. Lovely. Not much happening in there yet. What have we got in here then? Rabbits? Probably a bit too rainy for them to be out, I suppose. Oh, aren't you gorgeous? Aren't you gorgeous? You are gorgeous. Oh, hello. Your friend coming. Oh. Oh, are they having a scrap? Are they having a scrap? Be nice. Be nice, girls. Be nice. Be nice. Aren't you lovely? You gorgeous. Oh yeah. You gorgeous. Got the fella over there, have we? Fella over there keeping watch. Hello. Hello. Wouldst thou love to live deliciously? Oh, he nodded. He nodded. He's seen the film. Oink. to drip. That one is getting swamped. Level the pots, the old pots and stuff. It's this jasmine that smells amazing. Is it jasmine? Dreamy winter, right? Don't know, but it smells incredible. This smells incredible.